Hello everybody and welcome to the Round 4 AFL Tips and Predictions video for 2026. I'm your host, Matt Danger here, joined by Uncle. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you going?
Good. I'm tired. I think you could probably tell. I'm just looking at myself like for the first time today. I don't look up and about like I was last few weeks.
Like last week. No, you were
No.
on the roof.
No, I was bouncing off the walls, and this week not so much. Give me a nap. This is real pre-nap, Matt. If you guys do enjoy this video at any stage, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. We do weekly watch-alongs of most AFL games throughout the weekend. Just tell us in the comments what your tips are for the week as well. We have a look at last week's tips. Both of us got most of them right. We both went the same thing. We got 5 each, bringing our totals up to 18 for myself and 15 for yourself. The two that we got wrong were the West Coast Port Adelaide game. We went the home team. What a flop. And we both went Carlton. And again, what a flop.
We were 5 out of 5 there at one stage.
Well, 5 out of 5. And at stages throughout both of those games that we got wrong, we thought we were going to be 6. So this week, though, we'll be kicking off Thursday night, Brisbane versus Collingwood at the Gabba, 7:30. I won't be able to stream this one. Unfortunately, it's probably best game of the weekend too, maybe.
Yeah, it probably is.
I'll be too busy getting another medal at cricket, so final, just it is what it is. At the Gabba, I'm going to be going Brisbane. I think that they'll be too strong. They started to click towards that end of the third quarter this past weekend. Collingwood were pretty decent throughout most of their game. The Oscar Steen was in the ruck and was really dominating. He looked really good. But I think Brisbane will be way too strong at the Gabba.
Yeah, interesting game. It's probably the second best game of the week and probably the best one's the last one we'll look at. But we'll get to that. But this should be a cracker. It's historically fairly close. 6-4. Head-to-head record Brisbane's way. Interestingly, at the ground, the last two have been won by Collingwood at the Gabba, so they certainly have a fairly good record up there. For that reason, when it's a 50-50 game like this, I tend to look at my sheet and think what I'll do. Head-to-head, it's Collingwood just over Brisbane, but the home ground factor just pushes Brisbane over the line for me, so... Yeah. Tipping Brisbane, but only just. I think it'll be a very, very close game. I think Collingwood will take it right up to them, and it should be a real good game. Shame you're going to miss it.
Yeah. The next game, though, the Friday, Good Friday clashes. I'll be streaming both of them. We'll also be doing a little bit of streaming in between. We're going to do one constant stream throughout the day. In between, we'll probably play some games. But we'll be doing both these ones, starting with North Melbourne and Carlton at Marvel Stadium, 3:15 p.m. Good day usually for the Royal Children's Hospital. Good Friday appeal, so it's usually a good game. So hopefully everyone can donate whatever they can this year. I want to go North, but I think the smartest thing to do is go Carlton. So I'll go Carlton with not much confidence. I really want to go North. But I just it's I don't know. I'm gonna go Carlton.
It's I'm a bit the same. It's I'm going to go with Carlton as well. The head-to-head record 4-6 the last 10 Carlton's way, but interesting the last 5. It's at Marvel, isn't it?
Yep.
The last 5 games at Marvel have all gone Carlton's way. So North Melbourne have been pretty trash the last few years. That's a bit of a factor, but Carlton haven't been that much better in the last couple of years either, and they still find a way to beat North Melbourne. North Melbourne beat their hoodoo Essendon last week.
Yeah.
Maybe it's their chance this week to beat another hoodoo against Carlton, but I'm going to go Carlton. Again, probably a good game for different reasons because they're two pretty average teams and it might be close again. But
skill-wise, probably not that of the Thursday night, but it should still be close. That night, we've got Adelaide versus Fremantle. Adelaide Oval at 7:15 p.m, so just over about an hour and a half that we'll be filling in with probably some gaming at some of some variety. We're looking at Adelaide for me. I was originally Fremantle. However, during us tipping the first game, I was looking at my phone because Adelaide have just announced their injury list. In for this week will be Jordan Dawson, Taylor Walker.
Okay, in.
Rory Laird, and Mitch Hinge.
The Minge is back.
The Minge is back. So they're 4 good ins. And at Adelaide Oval, I'm going to go with Adelaide now. And just remind me at $1.80, I've got to remember to do something after this.
Well, that's a shame because I'm going Adelaide as well. And if we had filmed it 5 minutes ago,
yep,
we would have had one different, but we don't. So I'll be going Adelaide. It is a Fremantle have got a 6-4 record against Adelaide, so they seem to do pretty well. And even at Adelaide Oval, it's a 3-2 Adelaide's way.
Yeah.
So Fremantle do play pretty well at Adelaide by the looks of it. So
yeah, not too bad.
They're probably the better team on form. Freo.
Yeah, definitely.
Adelaide. I thought they'd shown what they were. They weren't a fluke last year, but their last. Yeah, I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with them last week.
Well, I personally wasn't. We were missing 7 out of our best 23 last week, and we got ridiculously close. So, I'm actually, Uncle, this Easter weekend, I might miss the Thursday, but I think I can stream every other game for the weekend.
Right.
So that's what I might do. if all goes to plan, I'm going to stream every other game apart from the Thursday because I can't. So starting on the Saturday games, because we're only getting 2 Saturday and 2 Sunday games this week. So we'll be doing Richmond versus Port Adelaide to start. Twilight game, 4:15 p.m. at the MCG. Both coming off losses. Richmond were there or thereabouts for the first sort of quarter or so with Freo, and then afterwards it just kind of got blown out of the way. Port started off fantastically, kicked 4 goals in the first 5 minutes of play, but then West Coast kind of just edged it back ever so slightly for the whole rest of the game. I will go Port Adelaide. They are a slightly better team on paper and off paper than Richmond are, so I'm going to go with them. Port could have been 4-0 to start the year. Yeah.
They could have been. Head-to-head record is it's favouring Port Adelaide because of how bad Richmond have been in the last couple of years. I'm going to go Port Adelaide for sort of that reason. I think, as you say, their paper, the team still packs a bit of a punch on the paper with Georgiades and Butters and guys like that are still playing well for Port Adelaide. So I'm going to go for them, but I think it's going to be a dog-ugly game. If I don't have to watch it, I won't.
I keep saying that, and then the games end up being better than the ones I want to stream.
Yeah.
West Coast versus Sydney at our night game for Saturday at 7:35 at Optus Stadium. West Coast will be up and about after they've won 2 in a row now, which I think makes their odds a little bit smaller than I think it actually should be. I think Sydney will probably romp stop this one. They should win by at least 7 goals, I would think. So yeah, Sydney for me personally.
Yeah, I'm going for Sydney. West Coast has shown a lot of ticket, haven't they? In the last couple of games, they've been 5-6 goals behind after the first quarter, and they've come back and won. So that points to a positive future for them. Their head-to-head record is favouring Sydney massively. It's 8-2 Sydney's way head-to-head, and the West Coast have never beaten Sydney at Optus Stadium. So for that reason, yeah, I'll stick with Sydney to chalk it up. Another one, 4-0 Sydney at Optus.
I'll say this: if Carlton and West Coast could combine together, they'd be unstoppable. Carlton have the first quarter. West Coast will have the other 3. Sunday games now. We've got Melbourne versus Gold Coast at the MCG. Gold Coast coming off the bye, so they'll be fresh. I think that they'll be too good. Melbourne were fantastic to come back from Carlton. I think it was 99-33 or something like that after not long into the second quarter. So that's massive for Melbourne. I think Cozzy Pickett had one of the standout performances of the year. After quarter time, he turned it on. So I think Melbourne will be probably competitive, but I think Gold Coast will probably come away with a slightly comfortable victory. I'm going to guess between 3 and 4 goals.
Yeah, Gold Coast haven't done anything wrong really at this stage of the year, so they look like one of the teams to beat. So teams like Melbourne, those lower 5-6 clubs are going to really struggle against those top few sides. Even if it is in Melbourne, Melbourne do have a better head-to-head record, 8-2, 3-2 their way at the MCG. But I think the Gold Coast won 2 of the last 3 at the MCG, and it's only been the last 12 years they've played 5 games at the MCG. So it'd be the sort of game where Gold Coast will probably enter it and think, well, we play the grand final at the MCG, so we've got to show that we can play here and play well here. So I think they're going in this game with a lot of up and aboutness for them. I think they'll win, fairly comfortably.
Sunday night, however, I'm just looking at the odds. Holy crap! 7:20 Western Bulldogs versus Essendon. This will just be a fun watch, I think, for me. It'll be a watch to just see how much Bulldogs can win by. I don't think Essendon have a hope, a dream, a slither. I can't believe they're not 18th. Bulldogs have been firing on. I think they've actually been more impressive than Gold Coast. Gold Coast beat Geelong in the first week, pretty convincingly, but the other 2 games they beat West Coast and Richmond. So, if anything you can take away from Gold Coast is they've only beaten 1 credible side, whereas Bulldogs have beaten three credible. They beat Brisbane in Brisbane, they beat Adelaide in Adelaide, and I can't remember who they stomped GWS. So they've been super impressive. This one could be knocking on a 100-point victory.
Yeah, same. It's going to be hard to tip Essendon. The line is 70 points, so even the line is 12 goals. So,
still don't think that's enough.
Even head-to-head, historically, sorry?
I still don't think that's enough.
No, probably not. So historically, they're 8-2 head-to-head, 4-1 at the venue. Everything points. They've started the year extremely well. Could be our first triple-digit win this year.
And to finish us off, Easter Monday clash, the traditional 3:15 p.m. MCG, Hawthorn versus Geelong. You probably are right. This will probably be the best game of the round. Starting off strong, ending strong. So, I mean, everything else in between is a bit up and down. But I'm going to go with the Hawks. Purely based off last week's, Geelong weren't super impressive to me. They got the win, but they nearly lost to a severely undermanned Adelaide team at home. Hawthorn have looked pretty good outside of that first week against GWS. So I'm going to back the Hawks to get it done for their home game advantage.
Yeah, I really didn't know. I don't know who to pick this game. My system says Geelong, but I'm going to buck it. I'm going to go for the Hawks. Purely on what you said, I think the Hawks Geelong looked average last week, which is surprising for them because they're usually very good. But they just look out of sorts. And until they start playing some good footy again, I'm going to go for teams like Hawthorn to beat them. Head-to-head, Geelong have got the wood over the Hawks. 8-2 last 10 times, even 4-1 the last 4-1 at the MCG. So Geelong do have this weekend wrapped up for them, really. But, yeah, I'm going to go the Hawks.
The teams with the bye this week are, of course, St Kilda and GWS. But that's it for us this week. So please, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. Again, watch-alongs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. No watch-along this Thursday night. But please let us know down in the comments what your tips are, and we will see you in a couple of days for the watch-along. Bye.
See you then.